Hello and welcome to the session. Now that we have seen how to find elements and some of the methods in the driver class and how to find different elements, now let us proceed to do some operation on that web element. So typically these are the 12 or 11 to 12 operations which we can do on a web element. But for this session, we will see something which is very basic. So we will see web element class and how to interact with the web element. And in the next session, we will see it in detail. So let's get started. So now I have this website. I have a couple of practice websites. So what I'm trying to do is I'll be finding the element, this text box, and I'll be sending some keys to it. So basically I'll be typing something. So how can that be done is using this web element class, right? So now WebDriver is Chrome browser is launched. So I'll go to this website. I will wait for some time for that the content to be loaded and driver.find element. So the moment you say driver.find element, it will return you something called as a web element. So web element, if you see here, web element is another class in the Selenium packages, and we will be interacting with the web elements using this object. So object dot send keys. So web element object has multiple methods. For example, send keys. If you see, these are a lot of other methods. So clear, click, and again get location, get size, get tag name, get text. So these few methods we will see one by one. So the objects of web element dot send keys will actually send some key to that text box. Okay, so let's see how it runs. Okay, so it will send some keys, type some keys into this into this text box, right? Okay, so that is about typing some keys in the text box. So but it's basically called as send keys. So similarly, we have other methods. For example, let me just show you. So find element by whatever locator and clear. So clear means if there is already a predefined text, pre-existing text in the text box, then it will clear it. So what will happen is it will send some keys, clear it, and again send some keys. Okay, let me this time I will do ABCD 1 2 3. Okay, now other thing is click. So clicking on something. So obviously you will want to click on a button or a web link. So it will click on this form submit button. So basically it will click on this button. Okay, so similarly we have other things. So now checkboxes. So I have another web page here. So this is a checkbox. So this might be required in some of the web pages. So it will click on some checkbox. So when you click on it, it will be unchecked. When you click on it, it will be checked, or vice versa. So that is the operation for the checkbox. So we just need to find the element by any locator and then click. Okay, this is checkbox. Now next is element state check. So it so happens that whenever a page is loaded, sometimes some element is available but it is not displayed. For example, if you go to web, let's say Facebook, and if you want to scroll, if you go to the bottom, then only the bottom elements will be displayed. Otherwise the page is loaded but the bottom elements is not displayed, so unless you scroll down. So we want to check whether the element is displayed. So there is a method here, driver dot find element dot is displayed. And similarly we have other methods like is enabled and is selected. So is enabled, basically sometimes what happens is some of the elements are loaded but they are frozen, or they are not enabled, they are disabled. So this is the method to check whether it is enabled or disabled. Now is selected. So a few of the times it so happens that some of the elements are by default selected. For example, this checkbox. So if I refresh this page, right, so if you see this is selected, this is not selected. So that is how to know that is it selected or not selected, is basically using is selected method, right? So let's run it one by one and see what happens. So first thing is it will find the element, it will send some keys, clear, send some keys, and click on it. Right, so it will send some keys here, then clear it out, Again, send some other keys and click on the retrieve password button. It has cleared the content. Now it will pass another content. It will click on the retrieve password. Yes, it has clicked on it. Second exercise is basically the check boxes. Yeah, so it will just play with the check boxes, tick, untick. Similar to checkbox, we have radio boxes. So one and the same logic. Right. So this part is complete. The clicking on button. This part is also complete. Just checkboxes part and element state check. Now let's see whether the element is displayed, is enabled, is selected. So what are the prints here? So if you see, element is displayed, true, is enabled, true, but is selected, so that is false. Obviously, we want to check. You would want to check is selected only for the checkboxes or the radio boxes. So you can do it appropriately. Okay. So this is all about the very basic thing when we have a web element. So let's continue the advanced part in the subsequent session. Thank you.